What is going on, everyone? And in this video I'll be giving you my UFC 261 predictions for the co-main and main event. I'll talk about whatever fights I feel confident talking about on the way there. This is going to be a great card, first card with the live attendance. I was gonna go to this card, but tickets sold out in 10 seconds, and then they just got scalped for like $5,000, so that just wasn't gonna happen. But I'm excited for this fight, April 24th, this coming Saturday. Should be a great three piece with the titles, and then obviously we've got some fights on the undercard that are pretty good too. But I'm just excited to see the fans see things get back to normal. The bigger cage, so it's not going to be the small cage. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about show you some of the picks, and then I'll talk about the fight, the ones that I feel like I should say something about. So for the first fight I'll talk about, we'll have Alex Oliveira taking on Randy Brown. And for this one, I think Brown's the safe pick. I think he's going to be the fighter that's not going for crazy things. I think Oliveira, he's definitely capable of grappling. He's definitely capable of hitting submissions. And he does have some power, but he's not knocking guys out left and right. He's coming off of a loss via submission. You know, he got caught with the submission in that one. He beat Peter Sabata by decision. He beat Max Griffin by decision, split decision, lost to Nicholas Dalby, and he lost to Mike Perry, and then he lost to Gunnar Nelson. He's not really knocking people. I think he's definitely a great submission artist, but the only concern is that he can get gas out a little bit. And I feel like in this fight, he's probably going to look to go for a submission of some sort, or probably hurt Randy Brown early on. But I think overall, Randy Brown is definitely going to be the stronger fighter over the course of the 3 rounds. I think he can possibly grapple with Oliveira. I mean, he has to be careful with that. You know, he's a big guy. He's got the reach. But I don't know if he wants to grapple with him unless Oliveira gets really tired. I think Brown's going to probably try to just piece him up on the feet. Not get overly crazy, not turn it into a wild brawl. Because I think Oliveira, you know, he's definitely probably going to try to get into a wild exchange and try to catch him that way. Or if Brown goes for a submission. But I can see it happening, but I just think more likely Brown is able to piece him up for 3 rounds and get a decision victory. And then we have Anthony Smith taking on Jimmy Crute, and obviously Anthony Smith right here is the underdog. I think he's the underdog because I think people are they're probably betting on Smith getting starched early on in this one and not being able to come back, or possibly getting taken down. Jimmy Crute, obviously he's an aggressive fighter. He likes to get in there. He can definitely take you down too. So I think Smith has to be careful, but Smith is a veteran, man. He's been fighting the best competition. I don't really look at him like he's going to get destroyed here. I guess he could get destroyed technically. He's coming off of a submission win over Devin Clark. He lost to Alexander Rakic, and he lost to Glover Teixeira. He beat Alexander Gustafsson, lost to John Jones. But he's a tough guy. To say that he's just going to go in here and get absolutely destroyed. I think he's been fighting best of the best competition, and then he fights Devin Clark and he's able to submit him. So I don't want to just write him off right away. I don't think, and you know, he's going to come into this fight. You have to think he's going to come in prepared, not try to just get pieced up. He has to know Jimmy Crute's going to come out very aggressive, and he probably is going to try to take him down, if not knock him out really early on. But I think if Anthony Smith can survive here, I really do see him kind of working over Jimmy Crute, showing why like he can be here for 3 rounds, hold in, not just keep getting absolutely destroyed early on, and then, you know, the 3rd round he comes out. I think he can definitely hold on here. Smith is dangerous. It seems weird to me to count him out, but you know, Crute obviously can come in here and blast him, knock him out in like 20 seconds, but it just feels weird to just kind of count out Anthony Smith in this fight. So I'm gonna go Anthony Smith to defeat Jimmy Crute. I'll take him to win by a decision. And then move on into the next fight. We've got Uriah Hall taking on Chris Weidman. Another fight that seems very sketchy to me. Reason being is pretty straightforward here. We've got Hall. He's probably going to come in, keep the fight standing, and you have Weidman probably going to try to grind this one out, hit a submission on the ground, finish him via TKO. But as we've seen with Chris Weidman, I don't really think he's there anymore when it comes to the feet. And if you look at his wins in his past couple of fights, you know, he has a win over Omariok Madoff, which I think he big manned him. Really, that's all it is right there. And he kind of gassed out in that fight. Really was sloppy, really wasn't impressive. And then he has that win over Kevin Gastelum, which, you know, even in that fight he got dropped. And again, I think he just was able to big man Kelvin Gastelum. But the guys that, you know, are decent level strikers, Dominic Reyes, Ronaldo Sosa, who's not really, you know, known for striking, Gegard Mousasi, Joel Romero, Luke Rockhold, he gets knocked out by. And then it's arguably the rest of his fights, we don't really know if he was on something as far as, you know, TRT or whatever it may be. You can just tell it's hard for him to take a punch in his in a lot of his past fights. He's been getting knocked out. So I think obviously for this fight, Weidman, he's going to have to work on in getting a hold of Uriah Hall, taking him down, submitting him, or, you know, finishing him on the floor with a ground and pound. But it just sketches me out not to pick Uriah Hall, because I can see Uriah Hall just get taken down over and over again and really just, you know, one of the boringest things you've ever seen, gassed out. But because even in his Antonio Carlos Jr. fight, he did get, you know, he definitely did get taken down a couple times in that fight. And, you know, on the feet, he starts to look a little sluggish. That's sketchy because obviously Junior is a grappler. And Weidman's going to definitely try to grapple him. But I'd like to see Uriah Hall kind of really go after it early on and really hurt Weidman bad. And I think if he hurts Weidman once, I think he can pour it on and get the finish in this one. I just don't see Weidman knocking him out on the feet. Not at this point in his career. So I'm going to take Uriah Hall. I think he has to do it early. Otherwise, he's going to get grinded out. I'll take him to win by KO, TKO in round number 1. And then move on into the next fight, the championship fight. Valentina Shevchenko taking on Jessica Andrade. It's going to be hard for me not to go with Shevchenko on this one. I think she's obviously, I mean, she's the well-rounded fighter. She's going to be here for a long time. She's fought Amanda Nunes. Didn't get absolutely destroyed by Amanda Nunes. You know, split decision in the last outing. Since then, she just kind of teed off on everyone. It's going to be hard to beat her. I mean, it's one of those things where she's just so good pretty much everywhere. You know, she can throw the submission up. She can keep the fight standing. She has the cardio. She can even get her own takedowns if she needs to. She has good takedown defense against, I think, fighting Amanda Nunes twice is, I mean, that's probably like one of the best things she could have done. And lose via decision, seeing how everyone's getting absolutely destroyed by Amanda Nunes. Losing to her by decision isn't too bad. Jessica Andrade, the power is always going to be there. Possible slams are always going to be there. The brute force of her, it's always going to be here. But overall, it's just you're betting on her landing a good shot to the body, picking up or dropping her on her head, or hitting the knockout on the feet of some sort. I think if Shevchenko can kind of, you know, I think she can stand and trade with her, piece her up. I think she's not going to just be winging shots like Andrade. And if she's able to keep her against the fence, take her down, just kind of work all around, I think she can definitely pull off a decision here. It's going to be tough for Andrade to win this fight. Shevchenko is just so dominant. And like I said earlier, fighting Amanda Nunes twice is, regardless of winning or not, that's a lot of practice in itself. So Valentina Shevchenko, I think she's going to be the more well-rounded fighter in this fight. I think it goes 5 rounds, keeps it safe, and I think she wins via decision. We have Zhang Weili taking on Rose Namajunas. This is another fight where I think Namajunas definitely, I don't think she can go to war like Joanna Jędrzejczyk did. I think Namajunas is one of those fighters where she wants to keep it technical. She's not going to try to get into this wild brawl and go crazy. I mean, she knocked out Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and then she fought Jędrzejczyk again via decision. It was more competitive, though. The thing about Weili is she'll keep going forward. I mean, she took some nasty shots, but she keeps going forward, gets in your face. She's aggressive, and she can land her own shots, too. You know, she's definitely can take it to wherever she needs to when it comes to like a brawl or anything like that. She can definitely get in your face, take you down. and just punish you if she needs to. I don't think this fight goes to the ground necessarily, though. I think this is one of those fights where it stays standing. Namajunas might have some sort of speed advantage, but I don't know if she can. If she can't put Weili away, it's going to be interesting to see if she's able to, keep going in this fight. If it gets deeper and it becomes a brawl, and she just keeps coming forward, it's going to be interesting. And Weili, I mean, you look at her fights, and she has a chin. She can definitely take some shots, so I wouldn't count her out in this one. I know in the last fight she definitely took a beating, but she's tough. You look at someone when she won via decision against Tecia Torres. Torres is a very technical fighter, bouncing around all over the place. She defeated Jessica Andrade by TKO. She's definitely one of those fighters that can pour it on when she needs to and take some shots to hit some shots. My only concern would be if she kept getting pieced up by Namajunas. I think Namajunas could definitely win this fight via decision. But she hits hard, Weili, so it's going to be tough for me. She's aggressive. She'll keep coming forward. So I think she can break Namajunas, whether she wins by a knockout or anything like that. I think Rose can hold on in this fight, but I got to go with Zhang Weili to defeat Rose Namajunas. I'll take her to win by a decision. Let me move on into the main event of the evening. We have Kamaru Usman taking on Jorge Masvidal. And when you watch the previous fight, it was actually a really good fight. I don't want to say close, but Masvidal was early on piecing him up, and there were a lot of times throughout the fight where he definitely landed some good strikes. He was able to. The one thing though you start to realize though is he gets stuck in the clinch against the fence, Masvidal. But early on, he was landing some really good body shots, good combinations. Early on, when he got taken down, he was able to get back up, but then he kind of just kept getting stuck in certain positions. And when you're dealing with a grappler like Usman, it was very reminiscent of Jones, holding him against the fence, hitting some elbows, hitting to the body, stepping on his toes. Usman is just going to eventually take over. But the one thing I did see in that fight was Usman was definitely taking some shots from Masvidal, still able to hang in there. His cardio was very good. He just implements that grind factor. And as we saw in his last fight against Gilbert Burns, he could definitely strike with people that he probably shouldn't be striking with and eat some shots to give some shots. He's not just a grappler. He's a well-rounded fighter that can, he dropped him with a jab, so he definitely has some power in his hands, let's not forget. And I think even against Masvidal, he landed some pretty good shots. Masvidal, he can't do what he did last time. I think it's going to be hard because, he really did get stuck against the cage and really wasn't anything for him to do there. So it's going to be hard for him to impose something different. He does have a camp this time. I don't really think it's going to matter too much, though. Masvidal's cardio really wasn't an issue in the last fight. He's going to have to find a way not to get stuck on the cage. And that could be just early on, landing really good body kicks, being a little bit even more aggressive than he already was, trying to find some way to shut down Usman early on so that as the fight gets going, he doesn't just get stuck against the cage or get taken down, and then we just keep seeing that over and over and over again. But he has to be careful too. Masvidal striking with Usman. Usman definitely has some power. I don't think a lot of people even think about that, but he definitely does have power in his hands. So it'll be interesting to see. Overall, again, though, Usman has more ways to win, whether it's clinching up against the cage, taking him down, landing good shots on the feet. And then obviously Masvidal, I don't really see him taking Usman down or hitting him with a submission. He just really has to find a way early on to hurt him even worse than he did last time and go after the body and just be super aggressive and try to take him out. Because if he can't defend the takedowns and get stuck against the fight, he's just not going to win the fight. So I don't see Masvidal winning a decision. I think he has to knock him out. But that being said, it's going to be a close fight. It was a really good fight when you watch the last one. So I'm sure Masvidal is going to go in there. I just think Usman is going to be, again, just dangerous all around. So I'm going to go Kamaru Usman to defeat Jorge Masvidal. I'll take him to win by a decision. And that'll do it, guys, for my UFC 261 predictions for some of the fights and the co-main, the main, and the other title fight. Really excited to watch this one. Hope it's a good card. It'll be good to have some quality MMA instead of a boxing fight. But yeah, 3 title fights. We'll see how it plays out. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys next week.